Joe, we're going to get through this. You will be strong. You will get through this. I really feel that you have the power to thrive and handle any issues that come up. Don't forget, I'm always inside you, and I think you'll get through. Okay?
Thank you, Blaise.
Be strong. You will be strong. Together we'll get through this. I'm inside you.
Oh, thank you, Blaise.
Oh, hey, what's happening? How you doing?
What's going on?
Whoa, beer.
We were just having our
Wow.
daily,
I'm a little off guard. I don't know what happened there for a second. Hold
went
on.
someplace.
Here,
Went
you
to
wanna
another
hold
place.
that? Yeah.
Oh, I need a beer after that.
Yeah, what was
we
going
needed
on?
that. Oh, nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Just
nothing at all.
little something Blaise and I do every morning.
Yep, it's our something how we get through the day.
How we get through the day.
Nice.
Thank you, Blaise. Thank you for the coaching. Sorry you had to walk in on that, Hank.
It's all right. Looked intense.
Hey, we're the Beer and Gear Show, or
Blaise
Gear and Beer, whatever the hell we call it.
Blaise is a really
Gear
good
and
life
Beer.
coach.
Yeah.
Since he's been coaching me, I've got...
I'll give you one of my cards later.
Since he's been coaching me, I've...
It's called I'mInsideYou.com, and we'll get through this together as long as I'm inside you. So we are Gear and Beer and from Music Villa, and this is our show, and that's Joe. I'm Blaise, and
Hank
special
Donovan.
guest. Yeah, and Hank, you live in Missoula. You came all the way over here.
Yep.
And you are... Hold on. Ready?
Yeah. You got it?
Bam!
Oh, yeah! Woo!
Rattlesnake Cable, people. Yeah. So
beautiful sign.
You are the main dude. You're the guy that does Rattlesnake Cables.
Yep.
World famous Rattlesnake Cables. Yeah. Welcome to our show. And thank you. You brought beer. So I think so I think Joe and I can't get through a show without drinking beer, so we're gonna crack one open now.
I'm gonna just have coffee though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. If you want to put your Irish cream in your coffee and get wasted that way, that's fine. Sleep in the backseat of your car.
Dustin, this is
Okay.
ironic. Dustin's going to Missoula right after this for a show. He's playing the Wilma tonight.
Nice. Oh, yeah, nice. That's a big show.
Sweet, so.
That's cool. Ooh, that's yummy.
This will come out after their show, so if you missed Dustin at the Wilma,
catch him
sorry
down the
for
road.
you.
Yeah.
Too bad for you, man.
Yeah. This is so you brought us Odell Brewing Company. This is called Rupture, and it is
I like the Odell beer.
we haven't talked about the beer in a while, so we're gonna just kind of do a quick little thing. And this is a fresh grind. Do you like? Oh my God. Now, I just ruined your pedal
Guitar
board.
players love
And the end of the
beer.
show. Thank you.
Guitar players love that.
Yeah. He'll never come back. So, did you bring this because you thought, oh, it's a good morning beer? There's citrus, or you're like, I love this beer.
They're like
These guys
squeezing
like
the
or he did eeny, meeny, miny,
juice out of
mo.
the hop with this machine. You see this machine? It's that's.
Oh yeah, they're
what this beer
grinding
is.
up. They're grinding
up.
up the hops.
Yeah.
That makes me thirsty. This is really good.
It's really good.
I actually
This is delicious beer.
instantly.
Yeah, I
offended.
had our drummer in our band is an IPA guy, so I asked him. So
This
he
is
told me,
delicious.
Well,
this
thank
is-
you.
this is the route.
Thanks, Hank.
Tell your
Yeah.
drummer he did a great job because
Good job, Aaron.
we're IPA people as well, and
Thanks,
this
Aaron.
is really lovely. I'm gonna put this in my own collection of IPAs. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Hank Donovan was so kind enough to come down from Missoula and doing some stuff in Bozeman today. He's actually going to go see our friend Mario, who's been on the show, who's an endorsee of Hank's company, Rattlesnake Cables.
Yeah.
But let's get right into talking about Rattlesnake, can we,
Okay.
for a minute? Yeah.
Cool.
So enlighten us.
What do you want to talk about?
I think
First of all, they look like rattlesnakes.
I like this one because it looks like snakes.
Tell us a little bit about the cable. Like
a
what
very
do you-
high quality cable, guys, and we carry them at Music Villa, and we are really excited to have this line. We're really proud of this, local Montana.
Yeah, let's
company.
talk about this
We're
cable and
wanting
why
to have
it's
your
so
cables
special.
for a long time, so
Yeah.
we're
Let's-
excited about it, Hank.
Let's introduce people because some people might not know what this is. So let's tell them what it is, and then we can get into how you
Just
got
talk
into
about
it and all that.
Can you talk about your build a little bit?
Yeah,
Just your cable
yeah.
build.
I mean, Rattlesnake started with me trying to find a great cable for myself. That's where it all started. So
Doesn't it always?
it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So I started figuring out what components and what pieces the recipe to make the cable, and once I found the perfect blend of diameter and the kind of copper, the capacitance to help with the tone, the idea of like good tone, but I also want it to be very durable. So all the pieces in there eventually ended up as the Rattlesnake cable, all of our cables milled to our spec in the U.S.
Cool. Did you just Wikipedia that?
No, it was a process to figure out exactly how to provide schematics and specs to a cable mill. So once we got that.
Do you have background in any of that,
No.
or just boom? You were like, I'm gonna figure this shit out.
It was scary when I got the first order in.
Yeah, hope people like this.
Yeah, it's not like I got 100 feet of it. It was thousands and thousands of feet. Yeah.
I'm fairly naive with cables. I use them all the time.
And that's the end of the show. Joe's fairly naive.
I use lots of chords, like the Keith joke. I play different ones on guitar, but so copper shielding and then a copper core.
Yep.
Is that
so? Well,
can we talk about just
some of these things with the braided
special
shielding here is something to really talk about. Because you have two different kinds, basically. You have spiral and braided. So spiral gets you a slightly more flexible cable, but you have gaps that can open in the spiraling. Where braided is, it's all woven, and that makes sure that there's no gaps. And the gaps is where you're going to get RF noise. And so once you have those gaps in there, that's where you're going to contaminate your signal from outside frequencies.
Okay,
so
makes sense.
That's your quiet cable, right?
Okay.
So then the diameter of this cable between the shield, this part, and this part, the further that is, and depending on how thick these things are, is your capacitance. So that's where when you have a cable, you plug it in, and it's like a dark, muddy tone. That's because the cable's actually acting as a capacitor, like a tone knob. So it basically bleeds off your high end.
Yeah.
So once you have, the proper diameter to keep it low capacitance, but not too low. You don't want too low either, and then it's like a brittle, bright cable.
Right.
So
get the nice
you got to find the sweet spot, and it's all relation to length too. So it's I wanted to have a really good capacitance cable at 15 to 20 feet.
You're thinking about it very much on a tone level, which is what we want guitar players, which is awesome.
Now, when you're testing that, though, are you using using certain guitars to test that tone?
Yeah.
And that's going to dictate some stuff too. So
Humbucker
how do you
versus
do?
single.
You're doing both. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the way I was first testing it would always start with my own setup. So I had, my Jazzmaster and a matchless was the first thing. So when I hit it, I could just tell the high end that I wanted to get out of it, the spankiness of it, the mid range, right? So I was testing every single cable, and when I was making adjustments to the recipe to figure out, okay, this is what I want, is this one right here. So I always do, a continuity check, like a cable tester. But we also make sure everyone is play tested right too.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
even though it might check out electronically, it could be something in the cable where the diameter has changed and that capacitance has moved.
But every cable you build, you plug it in and check the reading.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of trial and error. You got the formula, the recipe.
Yep.
Now you're good to go, and then consistency.
So can we talk about before? I got another thing too. I want to get into your signal chain and the length of cable and all that stuff. But Nitric Connectors.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And what the hell is that? I'm the dumb guy. What the hell is that?
I've been told gold. It's gimmicky. This is just what I've been told. It's gimmicky to have just a gold connector. It only matters if it's all gold. Is that the thing? But gold conducts more?
Depending on who you're talking to, you can end up in a bar fight on this topic. Okay. So it's I'll talk to people you got to have gold connectors. Only thing touches my guitar is gold contacts.
Yeah, there's people that are big on
that. People talk about that, but
unless your jacks are gold contacts.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You're as strong as your weakest link.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Good.
So what I like to talk about when it's gold is it's cosmetically different. You like the look of the gold. I like the black shells.
Pleasing, sure.
Right? Also, you have the issues with corrosion. So I've never really had an issue with things corroding on my plugs before. But, I don't live in Florida.
Sure.
That could be
that's totally.
So there's that thing. But as far as a sonic difference, it would be splitting some pretty fine hairs. And I really doubt... I would say the tip. If anything has to do with anything, it's the tip.
Okay.
So
good.
I don't know.
That.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you guys talked about this morning. But
but
as having a gold shield, I don't know, is everybody.
Yep. Ointment.
The shrink wrap, is that was one of the purposes that it's I know you never have to repair cables because your cables don't break. They don't. But that maybe makes it easier to get in there and do it because you could snip that.
I like to have the strain relief on the outside on these type of cables because once you start having bushings over the wider cable, it's hard to have it on the inside. And I don't know if you ever seen cables that have the the strainer leaf, but actually starts slipping away from the jack.
Yep.
So
that makes sense. Okay.
I don't like that either. So it's like
it improves the integrity.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It just makes it a little stiffer.
And it just visually it's got the impression that it's stronger and beefier.
And what's the name again for you? Have a cable that it won't. Certain guitar finishes could get scratched
it's
potentially. The snakehead cable has this that goes a little longer.
Basically, the weaving's cut a little short. It's about 19 inches.
So if you want to wrap it under your strap.
Yep.
Right, and won't scratch.
And, it's only if you got like thin nitro finishes or like vintage finishes or something
or
that you're really concerned about. I have guys that like want to have the wear, like I want it to look beat up.
Yep.
So it's like,
and this is what's the I can't think of the term for it right now, but
it's a poly weave,
but it's not super tight in there, like in a good way. You know what I mean? Like is that? Can you talk about that's intentional, right?
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's designed like one of those like Chinese finger cuffs.
Yeah.
So as it pulls, it tightens.
Totally.
But when it's
compressed, for 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months.
It won't kink up.
In Oklahoma.
Another thing about these cables I've noticed is they don't because of this type of material they don't have a memory, as in you don't have to unwind them every time you play.
Yeah, it'll have the memory of the coil that it was wrapped in, but it doesn't like do that weird.
It doesn't do that weird coily thing on stage, which is annoying.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm always like, you're not lassoing it before your gig.
Yeah, but then you talk to people too. It's funny. There'll be a person that like when they play guitar. I don't know if you're one of those people that always turn like, in a certain always I'm going counterclockwise no matter what. And then you realize like, man, that's all I do is I reach over here for my beer and I turn back around and then you start coiling your cable. But,
so you're as a cable aficionado, do you hate wireless? Do you just have a beef with wireless?
I mean there's got to be wire at some point. Right?
I said that.
True.
And so I want to segue this into something. You're talking about signal loss, losing high end, all that stuff. Cable length, so that you must be thinking about that too when you're building your cables. Most people these days are running through a pedal board. Maybe a bass player, somebody might have a 15-footer to their amp or whatever, or probably to a tuner though. So what do you? I mean, I know like certainly both have nerded out on this. Start adding up the length of cable through your board. Oh, all of a sudden I'm running 30 feet. They kind of say as a rule of thumb after 20 it gets pretty severe.
The slope starts happening.
Yeah.
It'll slope and then stabilize. It won't like go all the way. If you have like a 100-foot cable, it's not going to be like completely like unheard.
Quiet.
So where I want to your buffer.
Yeah.
Fixes that, yes?
Well, I always say
amends it.
You only need a buffer. Like I'll get people ask me all the time, do I need the buffer? Should I get the buffer? And I always say, if you need a buffer, you need the buffer. If you don't know it and everything's fine, you probably don't need a buffer. There's buffered pedals. There's maybe how you have your amp set up, humbuckers versus single coil. Low output.
A lot of people don't know these have an excellent buffer.
Yeah, I mean, almost any kind of delay reverb pedal is going to have a buffer in it to do that. Like after you turn it off.
Yeah,
that's a buffer. So I always say that the way to determine if you need a buffer is you plug everything in, turn everything off, and then play. Try to memorize the tone, and then plug straight into unplug from the pedal board right into the amp. How drastic is the difference?
Yeah.
Right? If it's like, if you're like, nah, it's like,
cool.
It's fine either way, then you don't need a buffer. But if it's like, whoa, it's like I took a carpet off the amp or something.
Is that what this pedal is on your board?
Or
is that, that's a loop. That's a true bypass loop.
Yeah, that's it. This is actually a buffer that I have that is what I call the underdrive. I made this. It makes you quieter.
Oh, wow.
So that's a switcher for my matchless to ABY basically.
Hey, okay. And you make all kinds of different connectors, custom connectors. But your buffer is in this size box.
It's in that size box, yeah.
And
with a toggle switch, which is
toggle,
to me, it's a no-brainer to have a buffer with the toggle because I hate undoing it and then trying to memorize how it sounds.
Oh, I know. I appreciate the toggle because it's just the LED comes on and I know it's on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I using it right?
Plus, if there's people too, like the classic, well, you can't have a buffer in front of a fuzz or it makes your fuzz sound like garbage. I have guitar friends that love the sound of a buffer in front of a fuzz.
Where should I put mine?
Yeah,
I own your buffer. Where should I have that?
Normally, where the buffer is the most effective is first in line, so right after your guitar.
So I'm using it wrong.
Okay.
But
I have it last.
There's people I've known
One of
that
those
have like
last
3
buffers.
buffers on there.
Yeah.
It's like one at the end, one in the front. But really, where it's nice is the fact that your pickups are generating electricity, passing this little tiny bit of signal through there, and that buffer is going to like basically bring it up to unity and preserve everything properly, right? So that's where your weakest link is your pickups are super weak, even though they sound amazing and are hot. It's just very little signal comes out of that versus coming out of an overdrive or any of these. The signal's amplified.
I like to have that strong signal.
Yeah.
Then go through.
That's where it's like humbuckers to me. You definitely can benefit from a buffer, but it's night and day when you have like a single coil.
Yeah.
And then it's like, whoa, that's it's like hotter. Everything's like a little brighter,
punchier.
Yeah.
I might have to try that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
So when I test our buffers, I always make sure I test it with a single coil.
I mounted mine right under the board, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's very, very convenient.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't
Cool,
buffed
man.
yet.
But you are buff.
Yes.
If you guys hear a little buzz in the background, it's somebody didn't have the right capacitance of cable. It's buzzing.
Yeah.
Sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Now there's a guy
We're gonna go talk to him.
cleaning the rug next door, and we can't do anything about him. Blaise and I.
Very upset.
He's really.
Yeah.
Blaise and I thought we could take him, and he would just
He's kind of strong.
beat the crap out of me.
Yeah, he
Blaise.
put me in a
So
headlock.
let him do his thing.
Let's give him the mic for a second. Let's hear it. See, that's when you have a bad cable, that's what you're going to hear. But when you have Rattlesnake, forget about it. Yeah.
We went over and whipped him with the Rattlesnake Cable.
Now they know. So, okay, were we going to... So we talked about buffers. Now there's other cables here, right? What else do we do?
Can you go through the tiers of...
Yeah, so now we have 4 types of cables. So we have our instrument cable. We now have an XLR/TRS cable. And we've introduced this new, well, it's not that new now, but patch cable that's a little more flexible. So we're calling it the Flex Patch. It's a smaller diameter. And we also do super beefy speaker cables now, too. So
that's awesome.
It's, over the years, it's been great that we've been kind of like adding on to like what we can do in our capabilities.
Yeah.
That's great.
When did you start this, by the way?
Oh, it's about 7 years ago.
Sweet.
Wow. When you first did it, did you think, this is gonna be? You did it for yourself, but then you started going. What
well, I remember it was a strange time. I was in a Cure tribute band.
The Cure.
One show, and we practiced for a year to do this one show.
A lot of hairspray,
a lot of makeup,
eyeliner. Yeah.
Oh man.
Gotta be sad.
Yeah.
That
was a sad year. Oh.
But I made the cable, and I remember I took it to band practice, and I was just gonna like test it in that environment because I was just in my basement playing it, And
alone, sad.
Yeah. Immediately, all the other guitarists, bass players, and stuff were like, "What is that?" Like, just grab it. And I was just like, "Oh, I'm making this cable," and they're like, "Oh my god, I want one." It was just like that, and I was like, "Wow, that's cool." I never really had that kind of response, like, without me trying to pitch it,
Yeah.
And then
that's a good product.
Slowly, I was like talking to a couple other tone snob dudes in Missoula. I was like, try this cable out. And do you know Gibson Hartwell?
Oh yeah, he's a good friend.
Yeah, he was the second guy to play a cable.
Awesome.
Right? So he's immediately says, "Yeah, I want to buy like 3 of them right now." And I was just like, "Wow, this could be a thing."
Gibson's a good guy,
yeah.
good ear.
Oh yeah, I was like, who am I going to talk to? And I was just like,
start getting that kind of feedback. Yeah.
He'd be brutally honest too. He'd be like,
you can trust that guy's ear.
Yeah.
So then you're like, I'm onto something.
Yeah, and then that was before we even had a name. I was just trying to think of like, man, maybe we could sell these, and that's when I tried to figure out like how we can actually make it into a business and move it from a hobby.
It's great.
And,
that's very cool, man.
Every year it's just been trying to push harder.
Yeah, I'm glad you're getting success in it, and the product speaks for itself. That's awesome. Yeah, we had a bandmate, Danny B, who he had a cable in his bag, and he like, it was like precious. Like I could tell this the way I'm like, and I was like, this thing is awesome. Like checking it out,
nice.
And I don't know if I had to use it for a gig because something happened with mine or something, and I remember just being like, that is killer.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was and all that, and then
that's what I like when people hold it. It's substantial.
It's there.
It
feels
like, this is
a nice thing. Yeah.
At studios should be buying
First
these
impression.
too. I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
Killer, man.
So you've got all these different patches.
Let's have some of these colors just to kind of show people. Oh, and also, Hank, you can do custom build anything. Yes.
Yeah. So these are pretty much non-standard
colors.
cables. I just wanted to bring some stuff over, and we could probably want to talk about the products that you got. At the store.
And everyone gets a free cable out there today.
Pass these around the class. Here you go, Jeff. Here you go, Carla.
Yeah.
Really, they're really
Let me-
substantial,
here
great
you go.
feeling cables.
Yeah.
So people can contact you through your website and custom order things. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And you have them in select stores.
So if I want to
Yes.
make a,
Are you across country? Are you just regional right now? Or what's the deal?
We're
Internet,
in
of course.
a lot of places. We have dealers in South Korea and Japan. And,
Damn.
Yeah.
so somebody
You're
wants
getting out there. That's
someone
cool.
wants to build a crazy Y cable. Maybe they have a
You'll build
certain
them.
impedance out on their amp head, and they want to run to 2.
Well, it's funny. I don't do Y cables.
Oh,
I'm
glad I asked.
Ever since the incident.
I'm like, yeah, ever since the incident.
Had a bad experience with the Y cable.
Unless a Y cable is molded at the junction, it's as strong as the solder connection at the where they Y up.
So somebody should get a box. Don't do a Y
You
cable.
get a
do
box. I mean, by getting this guy, which is a TRS to dual mono, basically Y cable, a TRS this way and 2 monos.
Much
out,
better way to do it.
This will never break
Yes,
on you.
I feel
Right.
you.
Nitric jacks on there. It's like
I'm glad I asked.
You know, and it's like I get people ask all the time for the Y cable, and I'll direct them to that, and it's just like a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Plus,
it's
it's
great.
flexible. Like let's say you want your TRS to be 20 feet instead of 10 feet. You don't have to buy a new Y cable. You can just buy a new TRS cable, and now you can put patch cables on that or 20-foot mono cables on it, and it's still whatever the application is. So,
Do you think down the road you'll ever start building, loop bypass loopers, or do you think you just direct people to a company that just does that?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, we branched out a little bit with some of like the junction box. This is like a pedal board, passive, isolated 4x4 junction box for underneath the pedal board, where you can have instrument and effects loop in and out, that kind of stuff, all on one side.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of to see what the response is, and the response has been really great. So I'm not going to say we'll never do like a.
That'd be a whole nother.
But it would be you got to
huge
tool
thing.
up for that stuff.
Yeah.
And, like,
Right.
I
When the time comes,
I got to buy foot switches and LEDs,
Yeah.
or I'm not really buying so many of those, or whatever. But
Yep,
yeah.
yep. And
Maybe someday.
speaker cable. Do you think, like, let's just say the connector from an amp head to a cab? How does that cable? I mean, how much does that cable affect your tone? Again, I know nothing of that.
Thickness.
You're not going to have like a capacitance issue because like the whole physics of it's different, but it's all about power and like heat resistance.
I've noticed that.
So
yeah.
like our cable, we use a dual 12 gauge conductor, so they're really thick wires. And we use jumbo Switchcraft 182 plugs on them, and we do speakons. So really, you can have a 20-foot speaker cable and a 3-foot speaker cable. It's not going to really affect like how it sounds.
Sweet.
I just want to make sure that it can handle the heat and the juice that's going through there, handle the rattle.
And just on an educational level, tell people the difference between, because everybody, people who work at music stores probably also need brushed up on this.
Yeah.
It's instrument cable versus speaker cable. Shielding.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us? Educate us?
Yeah, so that's a good question, because a lot of people don't know you can use an instrument cable as a speaker cable. It's bad to do that. It's like, you could just ride your clutch all day too.
You're good. It's hot. The heat. You're burning up.
You have a small 20 gauge conductor on the inside, so that could be your positive signal, and you have this big shield on the outside. So you could totally melt the conductor depending on the amp and like how hot.
Screw up your cable.
It screw up your amp. You know what I mean? It's like,
And then it screws up the gig.
yeah. So yeah,
Screws up my money. I can't get baby formula because I don't have the money from the gig because of the cable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so the conductor could melt on that thin of a gauge, right? So you can get away with it. Like if you forgot your speaker cable and you're at the gig and you're going to play in 10 minutes, you could pop one in there and you'd probably be fine. But if you
don't do it.
But I wouldn't do it, right? Yeah. Try to avoid that. If you use a speaker cable as an instrument cable,
it's really noisy.
Oh man,
awful.
Yeah,
terrible.
So you don't have any shielding in it, so it'd be just like microphonic, and you'd probably pick up all sorts of radio, and you'd probably talk to it and hear it come out of the amp. I don't know.
Yeah,
breaker. Yeah, come on.
And, but again, if you had like a 3-footer, you probably could, and probably be fine. But if a 20-foot, I remember doing that once just to see, and I couldn't believe how noisy it was. It was like almost whistling, like that kind of thing, like whoa.
And being like an antenna and all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah.
And then
don't want that.
One more educational thing, TRS, because people, again, music store questions.
Yeah.
People come in and they're, sometimes somebody comes, you ring them up at the till and they have
you sure you want a TRS?
1/4-inch TRS. You go, what are
maybe.
you plugging in with that? Oh, my guitar. Okay, let's go get you the right cable.
The presses.
So what's, when you're building it, I mean, like from a build structure, from build standpoint, to your soldering 2 points on that TRS.
Yeah. So, I mean...
But it's not a stereo cable.
The cables, it is, yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, you could use a TRS as a mono cable. You just only use the tips, right? So,
but it's a 2-conductor.
It's a 2-conductor. So our cable is very similar. It's got the braided shield on the outside, but there's two wires going through the middle of it that you would wire to tip and ring. So you could use that as an instrument cable. It'd probably have higher capacitance, so it'd probably be muddy. Depending on it, but
And why is it that you can run a TRS cable so long and not a line level cable? Just to
well, because that's what you call a balanced signal, right?
So but what's the science behind that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens. I know there's 2 balanced signals going, like 2 copies of the same signal going on both sides. And I think it's all about the mixer. See, I'm not sure about this point because I know you can go from like a pedal board, run it to a DI, and then put 200 feet of XLR.
Exactly.
And then another DI, run it to your amp, and it's crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always known you can do that.
There's a transformer inside the DI, so I mean, there's got to be some kind of like a buffer amplifier kind of thing, and it matches the 2 signals. That's my guess.
But you're building some TRS cables. You said.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
A lot of the guys that build that want the TRS are doing those like Gibson ES334s, the ones that have 2 jacks in them, like one pickup, the neck pickups goes to a bass amp.
Yeah.
So they'll get that wired with a stereo jack and then go into, the splitter, and then one will go to a bass amp and one will go to a guitar amp. And then,
a lot of the Jerry Garcia aficionado people have the onboard effects loop, and they have to have it's got to be a TRS.
I've done that too. Yeah. To do that onboard. Is that OBE?
Yeah,
L?
that whole thing. Yeah, exactly. Cool, man. And can we? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna. No. I was just gonna say we want to talk. What kind of? We got the products down pretty good.
I'd like to talk about
his bands. And,
that's what.
And maybe you brought your rig.
Same page. I was. Hank. I've known Hank for a long time through music. I first met Hank through playing in bands together or sharing bills.
I met him on Tinder.
Only that one time.
I didn't know. I didn't.
You guys stop.
It was a mistake.
Stop dressing like a lady and going.
It was a different angle I was trying, and
You really looked really good though. I swiped on you too.
Thanks. Yeah, I got the right lighting in the picture. It was good.
So
yeah. Anyway.
So Hank plays in this really great band called the Magpies. We could talk about the Magpies for an hour. But there's a whole thing. I don't know. This band I play in, the Salamanders, they're sort of like our sister band, and Tolan and Sam, we kind of raised each other in a band. They maybe had been doing it longer than us, but we played a lot of early shows together, and it was really
feel
great.
Like I've seen your guys' names together.
We have a really great history of music and of being supporting each other. And when Hank joined their band,
it all stopped. Hank.
Anyway, it was like Magpies next level, and they kind of like when I first played with the Magpies, it was just Tolan and Sam, the husband and wife band. It was awesome, and Sam playing bass and singing, and we're both sharing it. And when Hank joined, it kind of like became this like bigger sound. They kind of like, and now I've recorded. I mean, how many records have you recorded with them? It's been a long time.
Yeah, we just finished our 3rd one. So, yeah.
You did one with Steve Albini? You're on
No, we just always tried. We just couldn't make it work out because we had two tours to Chicago in 2 different years.
But the studio you guys use in Missoula is incredible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's Black National.
Yeah.
Chris Bauman.
Yeah.
So every record I've done with Magpies has been with Chris. Yeah.
They sound great. Yeah. Those records sound great.
Yeah. Cool. He definitely knows. He's like the 5th member, as they say. He knows how we play.
Clearly very talented engineer.
Yeah.
So and you just finished one.
Just finished it, yeah. So we just got the masters, and we'll have that on vinyl, hopefully, in a year.
What's that called, the new one? Yeah.
It's going to be called Terrain.
Cool. Terrain?
Yeah.
Not Train.
Not Train. Terrain.
Okay.
As of right now.
Cool.
It still could change, maybe. I'm not sure.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Terrain. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. But check out the Magpies. Are you playing any other projects right now?
Nope. That keeps me plenty busy.
Hank's like the sonic texture guy in the Magpies. He's like the, I don't know. I don't know. I use Troy Van Leeuwen as an example, but you're like you like fill out all the stuff. It's really cool.
I find the cracks and just pour.
He does. He's a soundscape
architect.
Yeah.
like the Edge. He's an architect.
And yeah, that perfectly leads us into your
what's
guitars.
Going on? You got
as long as I've known you, you've always played these these guitars with a trapeze and with flowing jag and Jazzmaster type guitars.
Yep.
And don't you have two Johnny Marr? You have two Johnny Marrs?
Yep.
Yeah.
One of them was purchased from here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the black one.
Black one, yeah.
Actually,
those are great guitars.
Really quick, just because people might know is what. So people always want to know what's the bit. What's the. Do I want to get a Jazzmaster? Or do I want to get a Jaguar?
I want to talk to you about this.
Different tones, P90s.
I'm about to buy one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I need it.
Yeah,
right?
let's talk a little bit about this.
If you got a Jag or a Jazzmaster, you need.
So he has. I noticed right away he has mastery bridge on both of these. If you want to play rock and roll on these type of guitars and hit it hard, I mean, I haven't found anything that works better for it not popping out.
What's they called? What are they called?
Mastery
bridge?
Yeah, and it's a really high end.
The thing is with the mastery
bridge,
between all the other bridges and fixes, I always feel like it takes away the quirkiness of a Jazzmaster, like the ruckusy.
It doesn't rock, right?
No, no, and you probably heard like the buzz stops and stuff, they don't make them sound like Jazzmasters anymore. So that thing still gives you the total chimey, ringy stuff happening.
There's like screw up your string path.
No, yeah, but my strings stay in the spot because I had the same thing. Like my E string, I look down, and it's like laying right on my A string.
The low E string pops right off.
And I was like, "What is going on?" So
you can radius it properly.
Yeah, I've never had that string come out since I got that.
Sweet.
I'm about to buy one.
That's a big one.
They're expensive. It's a lot of money for a bridge.
I'm looking at their. Looking at their.
Oh, you're gonna have it forever, and you're never gonna.
Both of these have state trums in them,
okay.
So they have the little sockets, so you don't, like how a Jazzmaster
flops right out.
Yeah, you just lean over and a bar falls on the ground.
Can't stand that.
So that has a little gusset in there, and you can snap. But that was a state trim bar. See, but that's not staying.
Wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Should I look at a different? Am I crazy to think that I need to buy the Mastery assembly?
They're pretty sexy.
I know. I'm very intrigued. I'm building a Jazzmaster right now.
If I had the dough, and I would swap that out in a heartbeat for a Mastery. Yeah.
I'm taking the J Maskus Jazzmaster that belonged to my friend Mark Lauerman, and a buddy of mine's helping me rebuild it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's that Jazzmaster server. That actually, when we were talking about the Cure, that was I bought this Jazzmaster for that project, and I thought I would sell it as soon as I was done with it because I was like, I'm not into Jazzmasters at the time. And I played that thing for like 10 minutes, and I could not believe how I linked up with it.
It's amazing how guitars do that.
Yeah.
There's something about Jazzmaster.
When I touch this, I feel sad.
Yeah,
I feel instantly sad.
You use all the string. You barely cut anything off this high E string.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't take anything off the high E string. It just goes in the hole.
And guitars with strings behind the bridge are special. There's something sonically that happens.
There's like a weird harmonic thing.
Yep.
Like you can hear that. It's weird.
Change pickups in this or anything?
That's the 62 AVRI, and
great.
I love the pickups in that.
Yeah,
I have a 65 also AVRI.
I love the wear on this.
Yeah, it's thin nitro. It just it's probably chipping right now as you're looking at it.
Right? I know once it starts to chip.
That gives it the character. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Killer, man.
But but the 65, I didn't like the pickups as much. Like I really love the 62s. Yeah.
Sweet.
Very cool.
And I like the Johnny Marrs a lot.
It's the best Jaguar. I mean,
such a practical gigging.
Again, he fixed all the things that are annoying about a Jaguar, and it still sounds like a Jaguar. So the blade switch. I replaced this guy, so it's like a set screw one, because that was like plastic.
Right. That's and then I did handle the
and bare knuckle pickups in those.
Yep. Those are still in there. But I love everyone hits those switches on the accordion switches.
Oh, yeah.
And, stuff up here, these are just like high-pass filters now versus you used to hit that and get the rhythm. So it still sounds super jaggy, and it's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
like it's your sound. You definitely you've developed your sound around that style of guitar.
Also, too, it's like with Tolan, you know, he has a Tornado, and he has a Mustang. So he has a long and a short, just like I do. And we're counter.
Oh, cool.
So when he's playing the Mustang, I'm playing Jazzmaster, typically. He's also all humbuckers, so I wanted to be all single coil. Just to fit those pockets that, you know, I didn't want to...
Yeah, sonically, you guys...
Should we play a little bit and talk about your pedals? And
maybe
I noticed you got stickers here.
Yeah.
There's sticker... You like stickers.
I like to not think when I'm up there.
That's playing. A great idea. Yeah. We've seen different people doing different things, white out or like paint and where they put it and all this stuff. And that's a great idea.
That's great.
The knob's right there.
Can we, and there's some pedals that I don't... I'm intrigued about some of these pedals.
Should we plug something in to try? Or Joe, did you want to play? Or do you want to play and then you hit pedals? Or do we have it even plugged in? Or are we just going to talk about it? Damn it, I don't know.
I'll play something. Let's just hear some... I would just like to hear some tones.
Yeah.
Let's get some sounds here going. And actually, before we start, let's just do a quick run through your signal path. Do you mind?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So you're coming in... You're coming out here. Where are we coming in?
I come in actually with this pedal. Can you?
That's your secret, top secret pedal. Top secret double probation.
Yeah, this is Pladask Elektrisk, the Jengengar.
Ah,
it's Norwegian.
Nordic.
It's Norway.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a gated delay.
Whoa.
So it's awesome, and I always have that in the front.
What do all the switches do?
Basically, how it's handling the
absolutely not.
The trails and how the attack is. So I love this pedal because once you have it on, you don't hear anything, but if you start hitting it hard... See, now that's that delay. It only kicks on at certain thresholds, right? So,
that's cool.
So what's awesome about it is you can turn it off, and then if I long press it...
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
So now I can do the oscillating. But it's like as soon as I take my foot off, it's off. I don't have to turn it on.
That's cool. So, real good control on that for the heat of the moment.
So it goes from that into this guy, which is this is a pedal that I made, which is the underdrive. So it's like a buffered, drops your signal, like the volume knob. So on my matchless, I only have like my main channel, and I don't like to do the idea of compromising my amp tone so I could have like a distortion tone. You know, like normally people will turn down their amp, so then they put a tube screamer in there or something. I want my amp tone to be the distortion tone.
Okay, I got you.
So like I'll click this on for like rhythm or verses.
Also, if you're hitting it hard.
Yeah. So it's just like, so now it's like quiet. It cleans my amp up, so it's basically my clean channel. So when I kick it off, it's my main matchless tone. So that goes from to the phaser, goes to my dispatch master. Holy fire!
That looks like one heck of a pedal.
Yeah, it's a killer. It's a 48 volt lead boost. It's got a little tube in there.
Cool.
It's
Holy
thunderous.
fire!
Yeah.
Who builds that?
Creation Audio Labs. They make a really.
I've never seen that pedal.
They have a clean boost.
And that's your main booster.
So when you set it, and you can lock it in or something?
Is it touch sensitive? Is that what the colors are telling me, or is it just changed?
So it's like the GOD, right? It's gain, overdrive, distortion. So based off of the overdrive, it is touch sensitive. Oh. So I have a little bit of distortion, more overdrive, and a little bit of gain.
Should we play that pedal a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
I'll play it kind of lightly. Kind of cleans up, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So it's like cool. I love this combination, dispatch and this.
That's such a useful pedal.
Yeah, that's
killer, man.
That they say like, what's your deserted island pedal? It would be this.
It's so good.
I use this all the time.
Simple reverb and delay.
Yeah. Then it goes into my trem, which I don't use so much anymore.
This is your trem?
Yeah, it's probably gonna go away.
Your days are numbered, Trem.
Yeah, there's only a couple of
Right, you don't use it like all the
This
time.
is doubles the speed, which is kind of cool. Yeah, there's a couple of songs that we don't play anymore, and that was when I was using it. So yeah. And then from there it goes into this DD7, which is the pedal I always joke about that I've tried to get it off my board
pedal.
so many times.
Yeah.
And it comes back on there. I just want like a really clean,
Classic.
long delay, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
And I use this is like a little foot control, so I can like mess with the speed.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, those foot control things. We sell those at the store. Those are pretty handy.
Yeah, Paul
Those are
found
nice.
these at NAMM.
Yeah, that's a pretty handy thing. Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then finally, the last thing is the Strymon Blue Sky, which I love.
That's
this thing.
that's a
Great
popular
pedal,
one.
yeah.
Very cool.
Favorite switches, I have like a little bit
You
of
have some in
shimmer
there?
on that.
Cool.
But I only use that on a couple of songs on the favorite. It's pretty much, this is pretty much the standard.
Beautiful.
It's fun. That's a fun role
Love
you
it.
have in bands. It's
Good old
creative
Phase
and
90.
You can do all that stuff.
So this is your only boost. Am I right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So I have the boost, my amp, and then make my amp quieter. That's the 3 tiers of amp.
Oh.
And
different.
normally this would be your amp, and then you want to make it a little louder, and then a little more louder, and it's like, you know, I'd rather use my matchless tone.
Amp with nothing going, cut it, boost it.
Yes, that's
Cool.
the logic.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Now, what do you find compared to the other way? Is that it's just a cleaner, more?
I mean, that was just a.
You not just keep boosting things.
Yeah, I mean, you got
you're getting
limited
some different
headroom,
tiers.
you know, so you start running into headroom issues.
Sure.
I just really like my matchless tone, and the way I was trying to do it before, I was like getting my matchless to be quiet and then boosting it up, and I'm like, I like it when I get.
You don't
that,
want to
like,
be all anemic.
Yeah, I liked it to be like this like medium grip breakup, and where it's so responsive. So when I hit it hard, it's more distortion comes out of the amp.
Yeah,
I like that so much more than
natural.
the pedal.
And
that's
are you
cool.
are you
More
using this
reactive.
to run 2 signals? What are you doing?
Yeah,
with
this
the
is
lines like that?
this is first. This is the line selector, so that go for Jaguar and Jazzmaster without having to unplug.
Oh, that's what you use. Because that pedal,
Great.
that's a pedal of many uses.
Oh yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I've
I
had
read
this,
the diagram for that
I've
pedal.
had
It's
this
like
forever.
there's 20 ways to use that thing.
Yeah, before I was using it for guitar switches, I was mainly using it for like a lead boost loop. So I'd have a distortion and a delay, and I want to hit them both on.
I used to use that for running 2 amps, and it actually, I must have had something in it that I don't know how I was able to do that. I must have just lucked out, and my amps there was no phase issue, but it worked.
Yeah.
And do you like these? I noticed you have the stickers on both your guitars. Is that tactile? Is that
No,
for the
it's
tactile thing to feel?
it's just the dark stages or strobe lights or whatever.
I know what you mean.
Like,
Yeah.
And at first I hated feeling them, but then when I got over it, it doesn't bother me anymore. I appreciate it now because we always end up playing some dark stage and strobes go on, and I'm like, I'm just.
I just went to a lot of strip joints and got my eyes adjusted.
Yes.
And then
like a
it was
real
mainly
pro.
for that. Yeah. So I put all the hours in for that.
You have that
Cool.
black light room in your house.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hank.
With a lava
I
lamp.
think that was. I think we're good. I think that was very informative.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
I kind of
fun
want.
talk.
I want to
Thanks,
hear
Hank.
you play a Cure song. No.
Blaise will weep.
The outro.
He weeps like a baby.
Wait, hold on. You play a Cure song and we're gonna cry, and we're gonna do our tender. I want to talk to Joe some more. I don't know. Just an idea.
Great sounding setup.
Yeah, it sounds great.
It's awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming by. Thanks for bringing beer. And this is Hank. What's your last name?
Donovan.
Hank Donovan.
Hank Donovan, Rattlesnake
Dag
Cables.
nabbit. Rattlesnake Cables.
Thank you.
And everybody check out his website. Check out his Instagram. Follow him. Like him.
Look for his cables. Check them out. They're awesome.
Buy the Magpies' new album.
Yeah. And those buffer switches are... That could change. That could be a game changer. I'm ready to buffer you. All right. So...
Someone's getting
what
buffered.
the hell
before
is
the day's
going on
over.
around here? So yeah, someone's gonna get buffed today. So we are. What the hell are we doing? We're Gear.
We're Gear and Beer. Music Villa, lovely
right.
downtown Bozeman, Montana.
Yeah,
Look us up on the
springtime.
web. Buy some Rattlesnake Cables. You can buy them from us, people.
Yeah, Music
we're a
Villa
proud
got 'em.
dealer.
They'll make Hank will make you cables depending on if if it's not outrageous. But no, he will. That you custom build cables and different things.
Absolutely,
So chat with him about your situation and what you might need. So cool. That's great. These are awesome cables. Take care, Dustin. Have a great gig. It's gonna be okay, Joe. It's gonna be okay. Just ointment. Okay. Take care.
Thanks, guys.